Hi, I'm Eric Westrich, and you're watching Startup Show San Diego, a startup TV show that's helping bring together our San Diego startup community. And we're here at Startup Week, which is a big story. And Video Studio headquarters is at Wework, where you could register and get started for Startup Week. In order to help us tell big stories, we have a storyteller with us, and it's Wade Taylor, president of wsRadio. Welcome.
Delight being here.
So Wade's helped us out with some podcasts that we did with our track captains and volunteers. So when it comes to getting across this big story of San Diego and these little stories of these big stories of these companies in there, what's the number one thing to remember if you're a storyteller and telling your story?
Get your story out. Understand what your story is. We all know we need to have an elevator pitch. There's got to be a story to support that. But more importantly, with all the technology available these days, there's no reason you can't be creating your story, being in a podcast or video, and making sure to get that online. There's lots of do-it-yourself options, as well as professionals out there that can make your expression of your story be as professional as you want it to be. But fundamentally, get your story out so people can hear what you're doing.
And so where do you see the trend going these days as video, audio? How are the stories getting out, and do you see any trends in San Diego happening? Or more stories coming out?
Well, San Diego is going to be embracing it. Technology, Facebook Live has made it so everybody has the capacity to get their story out. Now, if everybody's telling their story, that's going to create a lot of noise, and what's going to distinguish your story is the quality of it. And so that gives an opportunity to professionals like myself that can help people tell their story. But fundamentally, technology has lowered the barrier. You can do it. San Diego's a vibrant environment, a vibrant community, and everybody just needs to make sure that they know what their story is and that they're telling it at every opportunity.
So if I were to start telling my story, what's the number one advice you would give me as a startup company?
Understand that you know your vision, and that's the core of the story, but now you need to make sure that it's relatable to the other. Understand your story, then stop, put yourself on the other side of the table, and see what they need to hear within that story you have to tell.
So these days it's pretty easy to do a pretty quality video, to get good audio.
I'm not going to say it's easy to get quality, but it's easy to get audio and video.
Well, it's easy to get the sound and the picture looking good.
Exactly. But again, embrace the intimacy of amateur at those moments, but understand if everybody's doing that, there's going to be a lot of noisy amateurs out there, and to position yourself well, you should be taking it serious and see what you can do to add a little bit of professionalism to your production.
So what do you see about covering an event like this? We've got video going this year at San Diego Startup Week. Is this something that podcasts can do as a cover live events like this? Or?
They can, however, the medium that we're being consumed on now is a web page in the internet that doesn't have that required immediacy that traditional broadcast has. Usually you're pushing it out through social media and it takes a while to ripple through. So I always encourage create some content prior to the event to build the excitement to the point of the event, and then post the event, or after the event, you can post whatever you filmed during the event when you have the opportunity. But kind of at the moment, it's too late to drive them to it, so just commemorate the moment and then share that as you can.
So this would be good to get interview. I mean, we have 250 events this time. We have people coming from all over. All the top players are here. This would be a great time to capture that. So you're saying build that up ahead of time, capture them in things like video and on podcasts.
Create some formal podcasts, have some structured discussions like we had with the startup people about a couple of weeks before. They can share that, drive people to the event. Nowadays we have Facebook Live as a free platform. Grab your phone, grab some video as you can during the event, and know that Facebook's archiving that for you. Then you can go back, take those little snippets, turn it over to a professional company like the fine people videotaping this, and they can put it into a polished package. Now you've got the best of both worlds. A little bit of the immediacy as well as something of quality that has legs that will build your reputation.
So, real quick, kind of the number one thing, what's the number one mistake that most startups make when they start telling their story via podcast?
They look at it from their point of view and assume everybody gets it from that angle. You always have to put yourself in the perspective of the stakeholder, understand their needs, and tell them a story that resonates with that.
Well, great. If you want to hear interviews with our track captains this time, you can find it on Startup Show San Diego in the blog page, but of course you can always find it on wsRadio. Just look up Startup. And anything else you could do, they can find on wsRadio.com. Welcome.
Thank you very much for your time, Eric.